All right, so in this haircut, we are going to cut a bob with some graduation and some layering. So the very first thing we need to do is establish the bob. So we're cutting a bob about mid-length. So you can see right now, I've got a center section down the center of the back and two A-line sections going from the center to both sides of the ear. Now, I comb that first section down. This very first section is going to be my guide for the rest of the length, for the rest of the haircut. So, establishing this bob first, once we've got the bob in, we can then go through and do some graduation and some layering. So now I'm taking another A-line section. You can see I'm combing that section straight down and clipping away the above. I'm going to continue to do this. I'm going to work my way up the head, taking A-line sections, combing this section down, using that underneath section as my guide to know how short to cut. The current section, that first section that we cut, as I mentioned, is our guide for the rest of the haircut. And so now I'm going to take another A-line section. I'm going to work this left side, taking A-line sections, working my way up until I've established the bob all the way around from the left side to the right side. Then once we're done, like I said, we will execute the layering and the graduation. Now that the bob is completed on the left side, it's time to do the bob on the right side. You can see I'm taking another A-line section, combing that section down, clipping the hair away, and then I'm going to use that underneath section as my guide to keep carrying on the bob on the right side. Alright, so now that the outline is completed and the bob has been cut, it's time to start the layering. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a center section and the center back. I'm going to comb that hair back, and then, bam, I'm going to cut in that first section. Now that section is the guide for the rest of the layers throughout the rest of the haircut. So I'm going to take another section, you can see right there on the right of that first section. I'm going to comb this hair to the previous section. And that underneath section, or I should say that previous section, becomes my guide on how short to cut the current section. And I'm going to continue to do this all the way around the head, over directing to the previous section to see the current section's final length that I need to cut by basing it off the previous section. So now that the layers are done on the right side, it's time to execute the layering on the left side. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just simply going to take sections, working my way on the left side of the head, over directing to the previous section, just so I have that guide to know how short to cut the current section. And then once I am all done with that, we can then go ahead and address some graduation. Alright, so now that the layering is done, you can see I'm taking a section, holding my fingers in a 45-degree angle. I'm just simply going to graduate that corner off right there. By graduating that corner off, because we did cut a square layer, you're going to of course have a corner. Anytime you have a square shape, you've got corners. By rounding, or I should say cutting off that corner, that's where we get to put in some graduation on the lower half of the back. This is basically the half underneath the occipital bone, and it's just going to give the hair a nice lift. It's going to be able to graduate the bottom fuller to lift the layers that are above the occipital bone and give it even a little bit more volume. Alright, so we've come to the end of this haircut. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to put them down in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and check out the graduated layers on this haircut. You can see how the graduation pushes up right there. That graduation pushes up those layers to give a little bit more fullness right there through the crown. It just lifts that crown up a little bit more. The layers are going to make that lighter, but then the graduation is basically a support to those layers. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next video.